Shalom Aleichem. Peace be upon you. Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High Yah, through His Son Yahushua HaMashiach. It's your brother, UncleK, and we're back with another one. I hope you're having a Baruch day, and I hope right now you have a sound mind and a sound heart. Now, before we get into the content, like the content, share the content, and comment down below. And if you're not a supporter, become a supporter right now. I just advise you to tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. So let's get into it. The deterioration of man is at an all-time high. Right now, the deterioration of man is at an all-time high right now. You see, there's things that's set in place for the man to make him deteriorate himself, right? There's traps, there's snares, there's so many things that's set out, a trap. And in the middle of that trap is pleasure. And the majority of men just keep running to that trap and they keep getting bit, right? They keep getting snapped on, right, by the trap. The trap is always making a snap noise every time they try to pluck that pleasure out of that trap, right? That little mouse trap, you know? And that's what's deteriorating man right now at an all-time high. You got men that's in their teenager years, man, looking like they got so much infirmities, so much things going on with them. Early 20s, even up to our age, right? Men in their 30s looking like they in their 50s, looking like they coming to a close. And you see a lot of men right now, they waste that time, they waste their essence at an early age instead of getting it right. Because if you stay on this rapid pace, this rapid rate of deterioration from 25 and up, it's gonna accelerate super fast. Because at the age of 25, you should have your mindset solidified and locked in, right? Of who you truly are as a man. And of course, when you come to the realization of who you are by the age of 25, yes, there's things that you're going to have to work on. There's things that you're going to have to modify, right? But you're going to put away that constant deterioration of man by going out and seeking pleasure. And that's why this lifestyle and this practice of semen retention is extremely pivotal for the man, because you are abstaining, right, from expelling your life force out on a continuous basis. That's why the world pushed forth so many imagery to man to, excite him, right, and arouse him, his curiosity in multiple areas and facets. Because you see, they use these tactics on every platform stream. For instance, if a man is trying to learn how to bench press, it's going to be a woman that's bench pressing, right? It's going to be some type of gym video where the man is in the midst, but there's some woman with her backside and her whole body out with a two-piece suit on, right? Showing you how to train or do something of that nature, right? When you start tapping into fitness content, you're always going to see something of the flesh. And if it's not fitness, then they're gonna push it through other avenues, through ads, through commercials, through so many avenues. And they know that man is weak, right? A man that doesn't have his head on, which is Yahushua HaMashiach, he's weak. He can't be led, right? He's only gonna be led to the slaughter, straight to the slaughterhouse. He's gonna be led straight there. And a lot of men are slaughtering themselves. We should get that clarified too, right? Because it's psychological warfare that's being used against a man, right? They put these things in his way, these obstacles in his way, so he could deteriorate himself, so his lifespan could not be long. They don't want men out here having long lives, right? They want men to get beat down and broken down before they even reach their prime, right? Once you hit your 30s and you start going up, 33, 34, 32, all those ages, man, you know, you start tapping into a form of masculinity that cannot be taught and cannot be learned by someone that's extremely young, right? You start really harnessing who you truly are as a man. And if you're not trying to get to that point in that level, you know, you're just gonna fall into the bracket of deterioration, right? And you see it, man. So many men out here, so many men and women too. Let's get that clarified. It's not just men, it's women too. Because on top of deterioration, what could make you deteriorate at a fast rate? And that is iniquity itself. Iniquity itself will have you looking super deteriorated, right? People that's constantly in that liquor cabinet at these bars drinking day in and day out, they look dried out. They look fatigued. They look broken down, right? People out here that's, you know, smoking marijuana all day. It dries you out. It makes you feminine. Look at the studies. Just look at the studies, right? It's a study that they've done with frogs, with male frogs. They gave them the substance that's in marijuana. I believe it was THC, the whole entire compound. And they put it in that digestive system for an extended period of time. And over the period of time, this male frog turned into a female frog. So these men out here, you know, they be smoking weed, smoking this marijuana, whatever they want to call it, you know, and that's why they get real effeminate, right? You start seeing them acting real feminine, you know? And all iniquity is going to make you deteriorate anyway, because it doesn't lead to life, it leads to death. So in general, a lot of people in this world, they're leading straight to death. But right now we talking to the men, right? Because the thing about it is, like, you know, these modern men out here that's deteriorating themselves willfully, you know, they getting deteriorated by someone that's deteriorating themselves as well too, right? Just because they may present themselves on an external level, like they're, you know, at their best, right? Got their makeup on, you know, did they little facial care or whatnot, threw some aloe vera and some oils on their face or whatever like that, ordain themselves with some expensive clothing. You think that they all happy, right? You think they living their best life, right? But that person is leading you straight to Sheol, right? Her bed's gonna lead you straight to Sheol. And a lot of these men out here, they just sitting up, expelling themselves, you know, deteriorating themselves every single day, man. On top of the filth that they consuming as in foods and just in total, just everything that they consuming is just, it's not up to par, you know? And a lot of men out here, you know, they looking like they're already on their last. And they're young. That's why semen retention is such a pivotal thing. You know, and a lot of men are afraid to get this mindset that the seed, in essence, is only meant for procreation. You know, men don't want to hear that. They want to say, you know what, look, man, you know, I'll go on a long stretch and then, you know, I'll cycle it. You know, there's some, man, I remember a while back, look, there's some content on YouTube where a guy is talking about how, you know, you can't do it for long because it's good to cycle it, right, in moments, because it could lead to frustration, anger problems, and everything like that. So it's good to cycle it every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, people be trying to just lead you to the grave, man. The seed is meant for procreation. All right, there's a lot of animals out here, man. There's a lot of insects that once they procreate with their offspring, they die. The praying mantis, you know, the male inseminates the female mantis womb, and she, after he done, she cut his head off and eat him. Man, I tell y'all, man. Men out here, modern men right now, is killing themselves at an all-time high. You know? And if that's strong speech, then forgive me, but, you know, they deteriorating themselves, man. You know, that's why they legs are so heavy. That's why they look so brittle. You know, a fresh cut in the lineup ain't gonna make a difference. You know what I'm saying? That's why by them being all dried out like that, you know, deteriorating themselves, they gonna go to the barbershop, go get a quick lineup, you know, and think that they back on top of their game. They gonna go to the store, get themselves a little spray on real quick, try to smell good, you know, one of them little Calvin Klein or Axe body sprays, and spray themselves up, get they cut, come outside, and they still looking dry like popcorn. You feel what I'm saying? They're looking dried out like a biscuit, like a two-piece biscuit, man. No butter. I'm telling you. You see, and this goes for the man that's constantly battling with himself too. The man that's always relapsing and then want to comment on everybody's video talking about, man, I just relapsed. Listen, you're deteriorating yourself. Okay, that's gonna bring problems for you in the long term. That's gonna bring nerve problems, psychological problems, right? Health problems, man. And you want to live a long, healthy life, like the men in the scriptures. You know, a lot of the men in the scriptures, you know, they done put away that a long time ago, like Moshe, right? Moshe, he didn't. After he had his children, his bonds with him, with his wife, he was on a move with Yah. How old was Moses? 120, 130? And they said that the life didn't leave his eyes. He still looked like he had so much more in him. But the Most High said, hey, go up here and I'm going to take you. So the Most High put him to rest and took him up to the Shamayim. Right? So many men in the scriptures that has happened because at a certain time, you know, they wasn't with women anymore. And it wasn't to say that they didn't love their woman. It was just that it was purpose over pleasure, not pleasure over purpose. And a lot of men, when they wake up in the morning, you know, that's their first insight, their first tactic, right? And when you stay in that mode, you know, that's always gonna be your go-to. You know, that's why this lifestyle is hard for men, because, you know, you don't want to put it away. When you put it away, you realize, why was you dealing with anxiety? Why was you dealing with insecurity? Why was you dealing with abandonment, boredom? You know, after a while, you know, you realize that it was you all along. It wasn't nothing else. No, it's not healthy for a man to, you know, drain himself, man. It's not healthy. And it's like the majority of men you come across, they looking like that, man. You know, when you go in these gyms, man, there's a lot of young cats in these gyms, and they looking beat down. They looking dusty. They in the gym with slippers on, training. You know, they want to be real comfortable, like they in the house. You know, they come to the gym with some slippers on, some socks and some chancletas, man, some slippers. You know, walking around the gym, sliding their feet, looking real sassy like a broad. No. People get frantic when they see a man that's retaining walking this walk, man. You know, you walking all this power, you just breezing through people. It's like you could truck somebody if you ain't being, you know, too cautious. But, you know, we out here being wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. You know, we being gentlemen, we being masculine. We know how to move out here, but when you on that vision, you pressing forward. Can't be shaken, you can't be moved, because it's a set apart walk. So listen, you know, deterioration, leave that for the heathens. And if a heathen is listening to this video, cling unto the Most High, right? Turn away from iniquity and repent, right? Start living this narrow path. It's a wonderful path. All praises to the Most High Yah, through his son Yahushua HaMashiach. Shalom Aleichem. Peace be upon you. I appreciate y'all for tapping into another one, man. I really do. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. It's a real beautiful day. Appreciate y'all for tapping in once again. Y'all continue to have a brewed day. Keep a sound mind and a sound heart. And I'll see y'all soon, most high willing. But for now, peace.